Everybody to the stream. Here we are with NGS on the grand finals, or at least just the finals of Division A. I'm joined here by Sky Bunny. How's it going today?
Hey, I'm excited to be here. It's bright and early here in Japan, but like super hyped for finals with these teams. I know I've cast RewinD before. I've seen them a lot. I don't know if I've cast I have cast Sky5. I've totally recognized Phil's name. Anyways, so both of these teams are awesome and super hyped to be here.
Alrighty, well, we should be getting into the game, but to start us off, we'll go into how we got here today, and I believe
we're getting a countdown.
Yeah, I guess we're going right into the draft. We're going to be on BOE. So we're going on BOE. We did have bans and stuff like that, but who needs them?
These teams are impatient, apparently. Well,
we told them they could go ahead and count down.
We did. All right. Anyways, so where is So
I like that. Sorry about that. It's a bit of adjustment here for the Zarya ban, as we saw Sky5 use this against Wholesome Halfwits in the last semifinal match.
Oh, was it? Okay, it must have been Sky5 that brought out the Zarya. I've only seen Zarya once, maybe twice while I've been casting NGS here, and it was on Alterax Pass, and it had some awesome combos with Gravitational Surge. Anyways, so on the Sky5 team, we get a Lucio ban and Li Ming. So far, not too much Immortal specific bans, so...
Yeah, so the Lucio ban, not a big surprise. It is something that we've seen come from RewinD many times throughout the season. In fact, I think, who do you think has something like a 8-0 record on the hero? It's something crazy, so... Not a big surprise that that's what they want to remove out of there. But Li Ming, strong on the map. We also saw a bit of that play as well on, again, against Wholesome Halfwits in the last time I found a match. So just trying to limit their options. And we're going to see the Sylvanas ban, just trying to keep Ryokai off of that power pick. Although I do believe that the bonus to damage from Merc Queen was adjusted on Sylvana, so she might not be as big or impactful as a pick as she was before, but still, it's Sylvana. She's always strong.
Yeah, Sylvana has just risen up in the ranks here, but on RewinD's side, we get a Tyrande, which that Hunter's Mark is going to help melt down that Immortal, especially if we have a Vala or a Reynar, or something along those lines, or Hanzo. I prefer Hanzo, although many people I don't know. Poor Hanzo.
Yep, so Tyrande is definitely going to amplify any type of race that they stick with this. We're going to get the Reynar right off the bat, and we might even see a Exterminator Raider, but I don't know if they'll 100% commit to that. He's still a strong pick, regardless of whether you go that talent level 1. And especially when you have the Hunter's Mark already, you're kind of getting that extra bit of damage consistently, so you don't necessarily need it. But we'll see. We'll see what they decide to pick for the talents in that aspect. But Jaina Rhaegar on the other side, I'm not surprised by the Rhaegar. It's actually much, much more frequently picked. In fact, I think he's kind of shot up, especially with the nerfs to Tyrande's ability to save targets that get chain stunned after being switched to 16. I think he's kind of bumped up in the meta after that.
So I don't know if this is true, but according to another streamer that I cast with, apparently if you get the first Immortal on this map, it's like a 80% win chance. Have you heard this before?
Maybe that's what it is statistically. I can see that as you usually get the momentum going forward, but I don't know. I feel like it can go both ways a lot of the time. I don't feel the first Immortal does that much. I just think that a lot of the time, if you're winning the first Immortal, then you might also be winning the consecutive Immortals. I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with just because you win the first Immortal that it directly impacts it. Just more of a statement of whether it just continues to do so.
I've cast this map so many times, and I don't know how many times that has been true, but we're seeing out of Sky5 less of a immortal racing comp here and more of just a standard solid comp. I mean, Phoenix can dish out some damage, but he's going to be in that solo lane, I imagine, because they still need their tank. Unless they're going, Uther tank, which I have seen.
Yeah, early Phoenix, I guess they were hoping that they wouldn't have to be running into something like an Anubrak here as he's fallen a bit off the meta, but they did ban out the Diablo, didn't really leave them a lot of options left open. I mean, there was ETC, there was Johanna, so it is interesting that they go for the Anubrak, but I think that might have just been an adjustment for the Phoenix, as Anubrak is actually very good into Phoenix and actually causes him a ton of problems.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even notice that. Johanna didn't even get banned, and we have a Varian, which is interesting. And I don't exactly know if Anubrak has fallen off the meta or he's just been banned so much that no one knows how to play him anymore.
I mean, I think it's a bit of both. I think nerfs in the last few rounds of nerfs have definitely had some impact on his ability to be that main tank frontline. But if you're really good at diving, which they do have a very good dive capable comp here, he does still fit within that style of play really well. And the Variant, interesting pickup. I think it's almost a denial pick, but it was the last pick. So it's interesting that it is still what we decided to go with. So it's a double support on the side of Sky5, bringing in that Apple Mike Rhaegar, which has been consistently banned throughout the season quite often, actually.
What do you think of the Varian? The Varian is interesting here.
I'm not a huge fan of the Varian, mostly because again, it kind of puts you behind a little bit in the early game, and they already are going to be behind when it comes to race. So they're really going to have to be looking for those kills as soon as that level 4 drops.
They're definitely looking for the late game. That is true. The interesting thing is we have a very divey blow-up comp on RewinD's Rewind side, but we have the double support on Sky5 side. So I'm curious how this is going to work, and also with those silences by Stukov, those will be really important. See those.
At post level 10, one thing that can kind of put a wrench in the double support ability to save any of the kill targets is going to be Cocoon. But let's not worry about that too much and just get right into the game here. Starting on the blue, side, we have RewinD, Fade on the Anubrak. Who do you think on the Tyrande? Chaotic playing Greymane, Ryokai playing the Rainer, and Ghost Dunk, right, of course, on the Imperius.
Sorry, go ahead. And on the red team, we have Goliath on Varian. We have Alan by default on Stukov. We have Apple Mike on Rhaegar, Furl on Jaina, and Quan Finny. Oh my god, you just told me how to say this. Quan Finnegan on Phoenix. I'm sorry, darling. You're still doing a really good job, I promise. All right, give us some hype, guys, for the number 1 game in the finals of Division A.
So we're not going to see a whole lot of craziness coming out in the first start of the match. We are going to see the Q builds coming out from Phoenix. I think I've been seeing that more frequently. Ryokai, who is a self-processed kind of one-trick, although obviously he's not playing the Phoenix, would tell you that's a bad talent. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, these beginnings are kind of just a lot of poking and prodding and seeing if you can get first blood to kind of give your team a little morale momentum here. But they are pushing in, actually, pretty good here. Like you said, though, I'm interested to see this Variant. And Apple Mike just getting a little too deep there.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this laning arrangement that they have. Now, Phoenix is going to be able to win the upper lane against an Imperius just because his wave clear is better and he can kind of long-range poke. But that 4-man is going to struggle to get anything done here, especially without an actual main tank until level 4. So, and there goes another kill onto Jaina, and this is kind of what I've been a little bit worried about, is there's not enough damage output to scare them off, especially into Nubrak, who's very good into spell damage from Jaina. And so now we're going to see a lot of pressure being put into the bottom lane here without not a whole lot of an answer coming out from Sky5.
And like you were saying about the Varian, he just doesn't have that, peel in order to keep that Greymane and keep that Anubarak off of that backline at the moment. Once he gets taunt, sorry, he was getting died down. I was a little scared there. Faith taking a lot of damage. Chaotic taking a lot of damage, but Rhaegar is the one that actually goes down there. What the heck is going on?
Yeah, it looks like he got baited into thinking he can grab the kill onto Chaotic there, and it was a close call. But even when we get level 4 with taunt, taunt's not really a peel tool. It's an engage tool. It's not something you generally use to keep things off of you because you're still stuck in a spot where, well, now I'm stuck here and have nowhere to go. So yeah. It's a scary thought, and I'm hoping that we see maybe a bit of an adjustment here on the laning assignments, but we're going to see the camps coming out right away.
But the first 6 seconds. Who are you gonna switch? Jaina? I don't even know who you switch in that instance. Rhaegar. Oh, right. I keep forgetting Rhaegar. Yeah. Rhaegar. There's a Stukov, but yes, you're right, Rhaegar. Or just rotating, giving him a little assistance there for a second. Well, in any case, here, first Immortal's going down.
And so it's not even a trade. It's really just let's just let RewinD have their way on the halftime show while we clear out the bottom camp. So now they're going to come up for the defense. So I think that that's more or less what this composition is designed to do is kind of do the defense thing, see if they can get some picks and then turn around for kills. But with the death timer so low, First Immortal is really going to be a struggle for them to pull this off.
It's really, the First Immortal is tricky. I mean, the death timers are so low. If you get past halftime on one side, it's really hard, no matter how many kills you get, to get that back in. However, they do get the kill on Anubarak, but Rhaegar is soon to follow here, so it's a trade. They're still going to take this Immortal down. Red team now kind of just focusing on trying to get that shield down as much as possible. That's really all they can do. But getting that kill was a good start.
60% shield on the Immortal, however, does mean that we're going to get a nice good push in the top lane. Yeah, Anubarak going down there was a good first sign of life there coming from Sky5, but they did have to trade out a kill for it in the process. So, we'll see. Sevens are just about to click in for RewinD here, so this could be a pretty rough push right into the top fort here. I don't know if it's going to survive.
Do we know who picked this map?
Yeah, it would have been Sky5.
It was Sky5. Okay, interesting. I was wondering because clearly they have a game plan in mind with the double healer and the Varian. So I really hope that once they get those 10s, that we can see that gameplay starting in motion. Because right now, I'm not really seeing it.
Yeah, the composition that they have is not designed really to win early. It is a very much level 10 oriented composition. So we can see that they're not really going to look to step up here too much to put this down. And that is going to be the top fort going down. They'll probably snipe this well here really quick. Ryokai's working on it. And they're going to back off onto this camp here. And we see the Sky5 with Sevens is looking to see if they can aggress. And we'll see if they back off on this or try to take the fight. I think RewinD's perfectly.
I'm actually kind of a little, I'm kind of scared right now. Okay, Ryokai taking a lot of damage in the back there from that Rhaegar. Taunt going down onto Anubarak here. Silence, beautiful 4-man silence there. Quan fitting in the back with that. Oh my god. Oh, you guys don't do this to me. The beautiful blink out of there by Phoenix right before he was taking the death plunge.
Yeah, so nice, a couple good kills there. So yeah, fighting in those small places with that big, wide silence pool is really causing RewinD some problems there. So signs of life finally from Sky5. They did lose top fort, but they've equalized the experience with those 2 kills. And that's got to make them feeling good coming into the level 10s, hopefully, by the time the next Immortals come up.
Yeah, that was really great for them, just being able to catch up in XP as well and get that counter push in the top lane, which is the lane that they just lost their fort in. So, but yeah, that's exactly what they want, to get that silence down onto those heroes. But like you said, this map is actually pretty wide open, so taking advantage of that location was great on their part. So
in the bottom part of the lane, we see a an attempt onto the camp into the bottom lane. We're not going to see a rotation, but that's because RewinD is just looking for the race here. And I mean, it goes to show their whole composition is very much designed around burning these Immortals down super quick. And when you've got Raynor Greymane, it's a really quick way to burn it down. Already halftime show just about to be triggered. A couple more shots here from range. Ryokai is maybe able to get. He tried to use the Q, and now it's Ghost Dunk being pressured into him. Might see a taunt pop out onto him. There it is, and I think he's going to go down here.
He goes down.
The engagement to kind of disengage them out, but he does die. But still, halftime show almost hit. We're going to see if Sky5 can equalize up here, and they're looking for more kills.
Right, Blizzard going down onto Ryokai, getting that slow, but I don't think they're going to get much. However, they are going to take this advantage that they have there about 2 seconds before Imperius comes back to take that side of the camp. This is interesting. The macro here from Sky5 is interesting to watch. They didn't even come up for the Immortal at first. They are just really... They know they can't win that race. That was so interesting. And instead they focused on getting those camps and pushing those lanes out. But now they're going to have to defend if they don't want to lose another Immortal, so...
Yeah, they are starting to finally put a little bit of pressure onto it. I think they feel maybe there's a risk on coming to this side of the map. And now a full squad here ready for RewinD. They're going to be looking for their own counter kills here. Goliath on his mount, scouting that out, coming back out. Now they're on the defensive side. But again, they're just going to get the halftime show triggered here. And we'll see where it lands. Both camps have been kind of cleared up into both top and bottom lane, although the new spawn is back up again, so we'll see if they go for it. But no, it looks like kills is going to be on the mind for Sky5.
Yeah, and now they can actually press into this side a lot safer. They don't usually want to fight under the Immortal if you can help it. All right. Stun going down. Here comes down the slows. Apple might... but the counter kill on Nubarak there. I was going to say the Ancestral Healing just about to go off, but not quite making it. Jada now soon to follow. We have a bloodbath on our hands. 2 heroes down on both sides. Ghost Dunk and Who You Thinking, everyone back onto that Immortal. They almost have it down here, trying to focus on that taunt going down onto the Furious. Beautiful silence follow-up by that taunt, by the way.
Yeah, we've been seeing that combo a lot this game. Quanfina getting ever super low, having to warp himself out here. But it is going to be another lost Immortal. We saw Apple might get a little bit too far up, and then he did get killed. There's a big silence pool popping onto Ghost Dunk. He goes down very low. Ryokai still just trying to poke away at that Immortal. Does manage to get it, and now a big stun coming out into Goliath. It looks like it's going to be Varian going down here. And that is going to be it. Immortal comes out. Ryokai down to 200 health. He's starting to get out of there before Apple might goes in for a kill. And that's going to be a successful disengage.
I did not like that. I did not like that at all. If Phoenix had to back away, there were 2, and then the rest of the team came back. 2 versus 4 usually doesn't work out.
So we see a big engagement coming out on Deferral, and he is in a bad spot, but it is Ancestral going to be popped out to keep him alive there. That is the good thing of the double support coming out, but there's a cocoon onto Rhaegar, and now he's in a very bad spot. We're going to see the follow-up stuns coming out of here as soon as he comes out. There's the Ring of Frost as a counter, and that might be enough to get some kills to even this out, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. That's going to be just Rhaegar down, Immortal still pushing up onto the keep.
Tyrande actually missed that stun, so I was holding on to my breath for a moment there, wondering if Rhaegar was going to be able to get out of that, but he was just too deep into enemy lines at that point.
Well, they're going to take their consolation prize of most of the front keep wall, plus the kill, plus the fort. So that's a pretty good push anyways, despite a pretty hairy kind of fight in the middle for that Immortal. But again, the race is still working out. And this is what I typically see quite often on this map, that most of the time, the teams with the better race are generally the ones that win. The teams that kind of go for the team fight compositions, the stall compositions, the burden execution is on them to make it happen. And
Phil is in such a bad position right now.
He does manage to walk away.
Yeah, Fade missing that burrow on to him. I was just watching her, and I'm like, oh no. But okay, she walks away.
It was a good totem put in place too, as well, to keep the engagement from really coming hard onto Jaina there.
But yeah, you're right. It's hard on but if you can, like many games in Heroes of the Storm, if you can take a good late fight, you can win the game. However, you need to have a path to victory, and right now they don't have any forts down.
All right, so that's going to be more map control going to RewinD as they get the top camp as well. Now they're going to be looking at their own bruiser, and we might see an attempt here for an engage. Fade does scout it out, and they do disengage. They don't want to take a big fight here in these chokeholds. They're a little bit nervous about it, looking to see if they can find good positioning. They're going to walk back up onto this camp here. And they're kind of seesawing back and forth. Goliath super low, but he does manage to get the Ancestral to keep him alive. There goes Ring of Frost, but it doesn't land on anyone. A lot of damage coming in from that Starfall, putting a lot of pressure on Quan Finnegan. He is going to go down. That's going to be the kill. And now Varian is also in a tough spot.
Man, I really thought they had that kill. Oh, they get the counter kill on Reyna. That's exactly what they need. Goliath going in for the taunt onto RewinD. However, the rest of his team is not entirely there. Chaotic coming back, and Goliath staying alive by the tiny little bit there. My gosh.
There's double support Varian for you. Like he should have died there a couple times. But the thing is, the rest of that fight, Greyman had already peeled off because he had no health, so he had to try to get out and not die there. Fade now. Does he have the burrow? He doesn't. He gets taunted. He's going to go down.
Yeah, he used the burrow to try to get that stun on the Stukov, and he did. However, the rest of the team was there to punish him for that engagement. So now this will give Sky5 a good chance to get an Immortal finally in this. Unless that happens.
Split, and that stun coming in from Ghost Dunk does set up the kill onto Stukov. And Goliath now is super low. Applemic coming in to make sure no one else dies. They were kind of split because both the top and bottom lane were taking a lot of pressure from minions, so they were trying to clean up those lanes a little bit. Quan Finnegan just taking a monstrous amount of damage from Ryokai, and that's going to put Sky5 back into a position of where they're going to be a little bit behind on the map, and I think we're going to see RewinD step up to burn this down to halftime.
It's interesting. Chat is talking about Cleanse, and what did he take instead of Cleanse? Blood and Thunder?
Yeah, Blood and Thunder. I don't even think I've ever seen that ability before, talent before. So definitely a notable talent there. I hadn't quite noticed or clued into the fact that there was still no Cleanse picked up on the side of.
It looks like they're using Rhaegar almost like a Greymane, kind of like he's been following up that Varian and going in, but chat is making a good point about no Cleanse versus a stun comp.
Yeah, it's a Nubarak, it's Imperious, and it's Tyrande. Yeah. Those are all huge stuns.
Oh no! Okay, beautiful Ice Block going down, but Burl and Ring of Frost getting the counter there, and all those slows onto them is going to deal a wailing of damage from that Phoenix, and they are backing off here. They were able to get what? Did they?
They got the kill onto Nubarak, so the Ice Block into Ring of Frost was actually it felt almost like a bait, and they actually got a good execution off of it. So now it's still a 4v5, and RewinD's not even going to deal with the Immortal. I guess they figured they got enough of it down. They're just going to go grab camps, keep that lane pressure up as much as they can.
But this is
Sky5's going to get this Immortal.
This is where we're going to see what Sky5 wants, because this is exactly what they're looking for, right? That late game Immortal, and they finally get the first Immortal. So let's see what they can get with this Immortal. I mean, they've got to at least get this fort here. And they're still not even 16, actually.
Yeah, they should be able to get it here soon enough. Top fort's taking a little bit of pressure from some minions. A bunch of early damage, though, given up to the side of RewinD. They might be able to burn this down before it even gets much more than a fort wall. But it looks like they can actually get the wall down and get some pressure here onto this fort. It might even be enough for them to be able to press in here on it. This fort is more or less considered forfeit, though.
Yeah, they'll be able to get this fort. It's just how much more will they be able to get. The Moto's still at half health. A little more than half health. Let's see. Let's watch this defense here from RewinD.
They're getting pretty good poke. It's going to be the keep wall. Looks like it's going to be going down, but no one's looking to get too aggressive here. Goliath kind of fainting that he's going to look for an engagement, but with the Immortal so low, it's a little bit risky. But Quan Finnegan might have been a little bit too far out. He does manage to get a teleport away. And that's going to be that. That's going to be the Immortal phase there. They do start evening up these the structures a bit.
Oh, there we go. It's like they're pacing around, they're looking for an engagement. I like the aggression coming out of Sky5. They know exactly how their comp works, and they know exactly what kind of fights they want.
Yeah, they don't want to give any more map control up to RewinD, who's had kind of a stranglehold on it for most of this game in the camps and every other spot. So trying to use that double support team fight capability to really get the pressure in. We see a taunt coming out onto Chaotic. It does get cleansed out as Toronto finally does have that ability. There's a big Cocoon coming onto Phoenix. Furl having to drop the ring across up the ice block, and that's going to be kill onto Nubarak.
On Nubarak, there he goes, and the slows. There goes the root onto Trevande, and the follow-up kill onto Jaina. Greymane finding that Jaina just a little bit out, and they're able to get a counter kill here, so it's 4v4. Who do you think, though, is super low?
Yeah, everyone on the side of RewinD is really low, with the exception of Raynor, so they're going to just have to give up that camp to Sky5. But it is an even trade here. We will have a Nubarak up first, so we'll see if they can kind of leverage that into some sort of advantage. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we actually have a double cap sitting on the heap, and it almost takes it down. So, you know, that lane pressure that was established early, definitely paying some dividends here for the side of RewinD.
Man, I was just looking at that. It was the fort starting to get a little gray there on the mini-map. Yeah, that top lane has been pushing in for such a long time, and it's finally paying dividends here.
So they were looking for a bit of an engagement there onto Ghost Dunk, but Ryokai getting a nice Q on right when it looked like Varian was about to do the dive in.
Oh, beautiful taunt.
The follow-up silence wasn't there, and unfortunately, without that combo, it really doesn't shut them down enough. Now they have to wait for basically both cooldowns to come back off for the engagement, but they're going to pop it on for the Ring of Frost. Huge silence, still doing a lot of work, but Chaotic is just going nuts onto the back line.
Down the back line. Goliath also going very low, and Varian goes down. That's 2 kills to 0. Stun going down onto Jaina. Apple Mike trying to get, I think he was trying to get that ancestral healing off onto Jaina, but got it on himself instead. But Apple Mike going crazy in the back line here.
Yeah, doing his best to track down this Greymane. He does manage to do it, but he is going to either have to disengage or die for this, and that's just going to give the whole halftime show.
Last wolf standing. But man, oh man, that was, you know what?
Yeah. Greymane doing work in that fight, though. He managed to pick off about 3 heroes, and with that missed ancestral, it was unfortunately Doomsday there for Jaina.
That is unfortunate. At least Rhaegar wasn't, you know, completely healthy, so it didn't do nothing. But still, that's feel bad.
So looking to see if we can get a little bit of trade out here on the bottom with Rhaegar putting some pressure onto it. Quan Finnegan now stepping right up to see, but look, the double stun on the Ryokai, but he does stay alive.
Oh, the cocoon on the Phoenix. The cocoon on the Phoenix right before his ultimate is able to go off. Nice job, Fade. However, they are able to get a kill onto Trevande. The Immortal is not dead yet, but oh man. It's going to be really hard to defend.
It was a great flank by Rhaegar to kind of secure the kill onto Toronto overall. Good stun. Onto Ghost Dunk. There's a Ring of Frost, but it is going to be Jaina that almost dies there. There's no follow-up quite available yet, and they're desperately trying to stay up on this defense, because if they even let RewinD in for a few seconds, they're going to be able to burn a heck of a lot more of that Immortal down. But looks like they're going to actually transition into a defensive posture, and actually there goes the engagement onto Quan Finnegan, and it's going to be enough to kill him. That's kind of the risk of Phoenix into Nubarak, because he's got such a big hitbox that those stuns quite often land, and if the follow-up is there, he's going to go down, and that's a staggered death. Toronto's rated back up, and this looks like it's going to be an Immortal 1 phase for RewinD.
Man, Sky5 is like just trying so hard and doing so well, but they are just like on the back seat, you know, every single time. Like they get something and then they just lose it again. It's like it's irritating to watch, because they're doing so well, but that, like, the silence, just little tiny things. There goes down the stun onto Apple Mike, though. He's able to get out of there.
But the really big engagement was coming out on Deferral, but that's a huge silence.
But this is where they want to fight. Yep. However, Phoenix is I don't actually know if I would have used that ancestral heal there. Now it's a 90-second cooldown.
Yeah, writing was definitely on the wall there, but I guess he figured, well, he's probably not going to be alive for the fight, so maybe he gets away. But almost full shield immortal here, half a shield immortal pushing into the bottom lane. They do get a lot of good pressure and get most of that shield down, but now it's RewinD. And they're looking for end here, I think. They're going to drop this keep and look to see if they can find any more kills and push this into victory, as any more extended game here could be pretty risky, as Sky5 has played very well.
Yep. Now, if they're able to get one more kill, there goes down the stun onto them. Silence, though. Ring of Frost is followed, and actually, Anubarak is taking a lot of damage there. Goliath, however, is the one that goes down. Anubarak able to get away, saying, I only need one healer.
Well, that's going to be it.
And
GG. RewinD is going to take game 1 in a very, very hard-fought match there, that's for sure.
That is what's hard on that map, is like you could see Sky5, starting to make the switch, but by the time they made the switch, that they already had 2 forts down, that top lane was dealing so much pressure. Like, it just feels too late, almost, on that map.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it always seems to come down to the race. And in the end, that's kind of what it was, is that the Raynor Grey main Tyrande was too much pressure on those immortals, and regardless of whether they got pick or not, it just wasn't enough to be able to turn the objective in their favor, and that's I think more or less won the game.
But man, watching those Apple mic on that Rhaegar though, like I think that where was that talent? What was that talent again? Yeah, the reduced basic. And then this movement speed. The movement speed from the Ghost Wolf was fun to watch because he was just like dodging things like right and left. That was a good first game. So I'm looking forward to the next series.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, we're going to be getting into game number 2 here soon, I imagine. Though we have to get informed by the teams where we're going to be heading there. And so why don't we just go for a quick break here while we get everything else set up.
Okay, I'm going to grab more coffee.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be getting into game number 2, and it's going to be Alterac Pass.
Yay, I love Alterac Pass. I love this map. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. It's just interesting and different, and I love it. You never know what's going to happen. Although those minions are pretty strong, especially late game. But I think my favorite part about this map is that if the core is my favorite part about this map. You know, it's so different. You can't just if you're going to go for the core, you have to go all in for the core, you know?
Yeah, so. You damage it, it damages you back in a very personal way. We're going to get right into the draft here.
Oh yeah, it stabs you in the bum with that spear. Bad core.
But I do like this map. It's a good macro map. It's one of those things where to win the objective, you always have to extend to the enemy side of the map. And that can always be risky because you can get flanked and all those stuff. So you generally want to look for an advantage before you ever make that attempt. And so I like teams that stall out the objective and look for the macro plays. I like teams that really like to pressure that mid lane with the camps that you can put on. It's such a cool, fast cooldown rotation.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, they really do have a fast cooldown now that you mention it. Sorry.
And no, that's fine. And they, what's really nice about those camps is they do -20 armor on structures, which is what makes it so nasty. If you leave them alone, they'll push down any lane because they're putting all of that plus the extra bonus damage that your ranged minions get onto structures as well. So it's a deadly camp to leave alone, and you have to respond to it.
So once again, we have the same bands coming out here, the Lucio and the Zarya. However, we have a Raynor band, which is interesting because I understand Raynor on the last map, but is that I guess I have seen Myokai on that Raynor a few times, but that's an interesting man. And then Sylvanas once again, which we all know why Sylvanas is banned.
Yeah, I would say Rio, it's kind of like Sylvanas is his number 1 and in this season, and I'd say Raynor is kind of his number 2, considering the fact that he almost never gets Sylvanas. So, yeah. And on this map in particular, because they didn't have first pick, it is a second pick run, they're going to want to remove the Sylvanas out of there, and the Raynor denial was most likely to set themselves up on the side of Sky5 to see if they could grab that Sylvanas. Because again, that mid camp is so powerful. If you add Sylvanas on top of that with the 60% increase from Merc Queen plus the ability to turn off structures, that camp becomes worse than a boss.
Who was map pick? I believe
it would be.
I feel like Rewind.
Yeah.
Rewind map pick. Yeah. Okay, so we have a powerful start here from Rewind with the Johanna and the Ana as the tank and healer. Those two getting through. But once again, Sky5 coming out with these comps here. Stukov and Kel'Thas together is actually pretty fun. But then we have a Sonya as our offlaner, which I've not seen a lot of Sonya.
Yeah, it's a nice adjustment. The Kel'Thas doesn't have the same level of burst damage that we were getting from the Jaina in the last game, and it was a very impactful Jaina. I did feel like Furrow really played well on that hero, especially with the synergies from Stukov. And we're going to see a lot of those silence pools come down again. But like you said, Kel'Thas does have a little bit of a different take on how it can be done with the follow-up stuns. If it goes Pyroblast, those types of things can make definitely change the game a little bit. But we are going to have Ana Johanna, and Johanna was ignored last time. Not this time. We're looking for, and right now I'd say Johanna's probably the strongest tank in the game. So it's good to see that priority actually kind of reappear.
Yeah, it was interesting last with no Johanna, because I agree with you as her being the strongest. She gets banned all the time. So yeah, but Jaina was available, and they decided to go Kel'Thas instead. So I believe in their plan here.
Yeah, I mean they just want to limit the mage power there, and it makes complete sense to do so. But Falstad, who's been making a comeback a lot this season, is going to be the one picked up there. And again, on this map, I like Falstad because he does, you have Leoric to handle one lane, you have Falstad to handle the other. And also Falstad gets Bribe, which also really helps kind of churn out those camps on cooldown. He won't be able to get the first camp. That's going to have to be grinded out really quickly by RewinD. But after that, as long as he's staying up in his lane, he's going to be able to have the bribes available. And that's really nice. So we're going to see Tracer and Green going to be picked up here to end it. And that's the thing. Apple Mike doesn't play Zarya. If he doesn't play Rhaegar, then generally you see him on Tracer, and that's what we're going to see.
Really interesting. But the Varian again. Okay, Varian. I guess last match Varian did he did get really good initiations, but they've got to get that Varian silence because that's what they're looking for. And now with the Kel'Thas also. Ooh.
Yeah. So what I was concerned about with Varian, generally speaking, here is that in the last match they had double support. They don't have double support this time, so his ability to stay alive on that front line is going to be weakened a bit. And
but this time they have the Sonya.
Yeah, but the Medivh throws a huge wrench in this because now that burst combo is really going to struggle as long as those what do you call them? Arcane barriers are up on time each time. As long as the protect status is up every time it needs to be. It's going to be kind of hard to find those targets to pick them off right away.
But it does have a pretty decently long cooldown. The shield.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is gonna. Yeah, I'm a little scared for Sky5 right now. That Medivh coming in, just like I don't know, because they definitely want that single target. First.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, the Medivh always throws a wrench into things, and at least the cooldowns do line up a bit with the length of time it takes for both the silence pool from Stukov and the taunt. But without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce on this blue side. We have RewinD looking for the second game victory here. Ryokai on the Falstad. Who do you think on the Ana? Ghost Dunk playing Leoric. Fade on the Johanna, and Chaotic playing Medivh. Okay.
All right. Sorry, we're okay. Well, I'm definitely enjoying that Leoric on that little pony there. That's pretty funny. All right. Anyways, okay, that Medivh really confused me for a second. I was like, wait a second. I thought Medivh was on RewinD's side, but no, he was just over there flying over their heads.
And just being a bird.
Being a bird. Well, actually, we have multiple birds going on here. We've got the bird pack. I don't know what I'm saying. Trying to fill, and I'm not filling very well.
It's the bird pack. I already missed
it. Okay. All right. Okay, so can we announce the red team then?
Go ahead.
All right. Okay.
So we're gonna see the camps already being started here on the side of Sky5. So they are no strangers to how quickly these things need to be churned out. Ryokai, who do you think working on the other side? They're going to be a little bit slower here, not quite hitting the minute 20 mark. That is kind of the sweet spot for how quickly you want to take these first camps. But it doesn't really matter. We're going to see it crashing against the wall here. Fade's going to clear up the wave and see if we can get a little bit head start. But they're going to take a little bit of wall damage here from this camp before any meaningful defense can be mounted here. Medivh is going to be in the top lane, kind of matching the Tracer, while Leoric is going to be in the bottom lane against the Sonya. And Leo, realizing he's about to get ganked, just kind of disappears behind the wall and waits it out. So we're back into the mid lane again, where we have the camp being cleared up, and now it's going to be counter pushed onto the other side. And Apple Mike, realizing that's going to be the case, is going to rotate out of the top lane into contested.
All right.
And
I'm just like
It's all right. Now it's gonna be quick cleared there, and now we're back to the just kind of the typical Alterac thing where we're just in the lanes,
Yeah.
looking for picks if we can. But rotations are a little tough on this map, so it's not exactly the easiest one to roam around and gank on. So objectives are going to be spawning in about 10 seconds here. We're going to see if anyone is going to just quick posture up for those sides, or if they're just going to play the lanes. And it looks like we have Medivh going back up the top lane, the mid camp being rotated out again by Sky5. I'll see if RewinD pops back in for it, but it looks like there's going to be a small gank attempt here on Tracer, but that's kind of a tough one as she does have blinks.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one to do. The nice thing about this map is that the objectives, there's not much of a travel distance between the lanes and the objectives, so it is pretty easy to keep soaking those lanes and getting that XP and not lose out on too much here.
Yeah, and again, you're always in a better position if the enemy team is aggressing onto your side, because you can quite often find good angles for flanks and things like that. But GhostDog stepping up a little bit early here might start getting a bit of damage, but he does do exactly what he was trying to do, which was stall out the channel and try to give the level 7 advantage. We can see that RewinD here doesn't want really to do anything until they have those level 7s in place, and they do finally. But I don't know if they're going to be able to leverage anything out of it. And that's going to be a free 22 seconds, or I guess it's only 8 seconds of channel time there for RewinD.
It's all right. Oh, those free 22 seconds. All right. Anyways, yeah, so we have equal talents here. Camp's been cleared in the middle. Falstad going over to get their camp. So it's just kind of got to be a back and forth for right now. No entirely hard engages yet, but we might have one here. Sky5 able to capture that prison camp. Gonna get more seconds and make it, actually 22 here pretty soon.
Yeah, that mid camp just took too long for Ryokai to be able to get out there, and while he's coming back in for this fight, he does not have any mana on him. It looks like they're going to be able to stall out. Taunt does come in onto GhostDog. He does stay alive. Tracer trying to put as much pressure onto Ryokai as possible to get the channel again, and that's going to be the last 2 seconds. And first objective is going to be going to Sky5.
Very nice. Nice job. That's nice to see at this level. Makes me a little less scared about the Medivh protection with the Tracer and Kalthos.
Yeah, there were no kills that were able to gather there, as RewinD never really fully committed to a hard fight here.
Yeah.
But I really think that they don't really have much of a team fight until level 10 anyways, as they're going to need that ley line seal, they're going to need Gust, they're going to need those things to set up the fights.
And the Aura going down in the bottom, yeah. I wasn't even watching that. What's in the middle?
They were managed to pick up. He's going to be back pretty quickly, though, as that is the way of the Leoric, getting that trait value. But bottom lane looks like it's probably going to be pushed in, and that's going to be the end of that fort. Mid and top lane are going to be cleared up, though, by Falstad and Johanna, respectively. You might even be able to save that well there in the mid, which is nice. And full-on push still here. They're going to see if they can get a keep ball out of this, and that's working out pretty well. They're just committing to a lane and getting as much as they can out of it, and I like the strategy. It makes it so that the bosses can actually be a bit of a threat onto the keep as you get into mid-late game.
Yes, and actually getting a little bit of damage on that keep sleep going down onto Goliath, though, and he's starting to take some damage. There goes down the portal, but the silence underneath the portal doing a good job of keeping him alive for just a little bit, but he's a little too low. I think they stayed just a little too long, and now 10s will be had for RewinD. However, they're getting a full retreat here, so those 10s will be used to take a boss here.
Fort and a keep wall is still pretty good. I mean, I'd take that trade almost any day. Or, losing a variant for that much value out of the first objective is actually really good. And so we're going to get the boss. This is a good play by RewinD just to make sure that they don't get to leverage the boss into their bottom keep, because while bosses aren't as impactful as they are on things like Cursed Hollow, when pushed with 5, they still can be quite threatening, especially to a non-keep walled. So, but we're going to see Sky5 go ahead and grab and exchange it on top lane. They actually made it to this boss later, and they burned it down just about the same amount of time.
Which is, they were there a little bit. But I loved that response from Sky5. Definitely love that response. And instead of defending, they're going to push with this, which I like this decision as well. They already have that keep wall down at the bottom, so they're going to have catapults that are going to spawn to help defend against that boss, and they can lose a few structures here and there.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting value out of this boss.
Definitely are.
Quite a bit, and that's the thing. Unlike the last map, they're not allowing RewinD to get any major structure or camp advantages, which I think is kind of really turning things around here. RewinD kind of not sure what they're going to do to get a good engagement here, as they're stuck behind the wall.
So this boss was able to get a fort. It's almost dead though, but they were able to get a fort and this keep wall. So now they have both top and bottom lanes open for any future bosses that they might get.
Yeah, great value out of that boss for sure. And I think the issue with RewinD's comp, generally speaking, is they don't have any threat outside of a major engagement from their ultimates. When it comes down to the 1-for-1 fights, I mean, Kael'thas Tracer versus Medivh Falstad is almost always going to net value and damage advantage there with the Kael'thas and the Tracer. And they got a lot of great damage threat coming up from the side of Sky5 that really makes RewinD nervous, not really willing to pull the trigger unless they see a good angle to do so.
I'm really loving watching this because Pulse Bomb, there's so many threats that Medivh has to pay attention to. Pulse Bomb, any taunt, that if they can, if Sky5 can get him to use that and then find an opening, they have so many other tools they can use to and there we go. There goes down the protection, silence, but leap onto the Ana, and she goes down.
Unfortunately, the Gust was a little bit late to save the Ana there, and generally I'm not a huge fan of Leap, but against Ana, it's actually a pretty good pick because she doesn't have a lot of ways to get out, and especially since she was a little bit overextended in that spot, the taunt actually opened out onto Ana initially, and that's generally not where you want to be. It's if your Ana's getting taunt silenced, you're probably not doing well positionally.
You're probably going to have a bad time. Quoting South Park there. All right, getting the start on this. Ana is back. We do have Leyline, but not much of a follow-up on the Leyline at the current moment.
Yeah, we have Entomb, but it's kind of like what are the targets here? I think you want to try to hit Stukov and you want to try to hit Kael'thas.
Yep.
But really, where's the damage going to be coming in? And that tends to be a bit of the issue here that we're seeing from RewinD. But Quan Finnegan might have overextended himself. Now he's going to get hit by an Entomb and not able to get out. He's dropped to about 200 health. There goes the kill from Chaotic. But the objective is picked up by Sky5. They did lose a hero off of it, and this map, more than almost any other map, when you lose heroes off the objective pushes, it can be a bit of a problem, because if you don't have heroes actively pushing in the lanes with these objectives, they kind of suck. They don't really do
anything. Yeah.
It's kind of like web weavers. It's actually very similar in that sense, that if you don't really have the pressure. But even web weavers tend to get a little bit more siege damage done in off lanes than these guys tend to. So they're going to do what they were doing before and just group up as many heroes as they have available into one lane and kind of make RewinD choose where they want to defend. Do they want to catch the bottom and top where their keeps are already down? Do they want to fight them 4 on 4 or 5 on 4 in the mid lane? And now Quan Finnegan is already up, so it's looking like they're still getting some good value out of this objective.
Yep, and they still have top pushing and bottom pushing here. And they are going in for this keep here. There goes down onto Ryokai, and the silence underneath him, Pulse Bob, and he is a dead bird. The line sail going down, but just a little too late to save that turkey. They are not able to get that, though, but how's the bottom doing?
Bottom's in trouble, top is gone, mid's gonna go down as well. That's 3 keeps. I mean, really, the plays that we saw from Sky5 in the in between where they got the boss push into the bottom, sorry, the camp push into the bottom from the first objective and the boss push in the top, really opened up this game to get all 3 keeps down. So they're going for the game here, and it's a little bit risky. Ryokai is back up, and that's going to be Goliath going down. And I don't think that they're going to have any more push here, but I mean, RewinD is an absolute terrible spot.
Like I said, though, like if you want to go for that core, you gotta go for that core, and they didn't have any more of their mercs, but they are utilizing this map perfectly, though, using the objective, using the bosses, man, everything. And now they're going for this, although there's nothing left to kill except for the core, so I don't imagine we'll see well, maybe.
Well, I mean, all 3 keeps are down. That means there's no more armor on the core, and that means that this boss with a 5-man push is core threatening. If they get a kill off of it, it's absolutely could be GG. And the fact that they have 16s might encourage them to look for this. Plus, with the way the lanes are pushed up in both the mid and top lane, this is actually a very scary spot for RewinD to be in. And I if I were Sky5, I would at least attempt a core here, maybe.
So, like Megamuff is saying in chat, RewinD having too much faith in Protect, and I agree. Like I said before, there's leap, there's gravity lapse, taunt, pulse bomb. If any of those happen to get to hit here, they've just been having a bad time, and can't protect against them all. So
here's the all-in play. They're gonna go for it right here and now. But they're taking a ton of damage here, and maybe a little bit too much. But here's the thing, even if they get the kills onto this, the way the core is going down with that boss of half health, this could actually still be the end of the game. They do clear up the camp.
Really?
They do scare them off with 2 kills, and that is so close. No. I mean, if they just all-in on that, all of them just died for it. They might have just won the game.
And that's the problem right there. Look at that. Now he's just healing back up, and now RewinD is going to be able to grab this camp. The bottom keep is actually pretty low here, and they now have a path into victory, which, I mean, Sonya and Varian are going to be back up here. So they will be able to defend. They have plenty of time to defend.
They do have Leyline and Gust, though, still available, and the fact that they already have the channel on this means it's going to be very difficult for Sky5 to find positioning back onto this objective again. So I think this is going to just be, they're just going to have to give it up. They do have to have 30 seconds to come in here, so I think they're going to make the attempt, as losing this camp, as you said, could very well put this back. It doesn't look like RewinD's going to fight. Looks like they're just going to back off. They're just going to clear lanes and look for an opportunity to get another big all-in kill like they did on the core, but a bit of a risky play. I almost would have went for using the ley line and the Gust to delay any type of aggression from Sky5 and secure that objective. So we see Ghost Dunk looking around to see if he can find an entomb target. No one is being presented, and now that means the lane pressure is just going to start getting to RewinD. We already saw Ryokai having to split into the mid lane to deal with the camp. Apple Mike looking to see if he can get the pick off, but the taunt silence coming in, huge leap coming in.
Leap going down. However, they are getting much better at responding to that leap, but Sonya just kind of peeling off that backline from them. Leyline going down onto just pretty much that Sonya. Beautiful gravity,
gravity lab.
But the Medivh trying to get something done in the back. Tracer does go down. However, everybody is so low. Look at Chaotic Self. He's at 300. Sonya also taking a lot. That silence, though, going down here. And everybody is scaring the crap out of me. I can't deal with that.
Huge wave in the bottom lane has to be dealt with, though, by RewinD, and that's going to have to put them back a little bit. Ryokai going down there, it was looking really rough as Medivh was really low, and he did manage to get the pick off onto Tracer, but had to get out of there, and he was in no position to help Chaotic or Ryokai from the living bomb that he had on him at the time. And look at this core; it's just so low. Has almost no time to regenerate, and that's going to be the objective picked up, camp picked up. Tracer's going to be up first, and I just don't really see a world where RewinD finds the victory here.
This is check and mate, if I do say so myself. I'm pretty sure even if they just stayed back and do nothing, all of those camps, all of those minions pushing in onto this core. Sorry, Mr. Dwarf. I don't know if you're tough enough to handle this one.
Yeah, it's just the catapults are well, whatever. The big giant minions, they do quite a bit. They do clear up the top lane a little bit here, but that's not really the problem. Now there's a big entomb coming out onto Furl. They're trying to get the kills, but there's the leap onto who do you think and onto Chaotic. They're both going to die. Rio has
going down.
And that's it. That's going to be GG.
We're going to have a tied series, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
All right.
Nicely played, man. They took that first game, threw it out the window, got all of their, whatever you want to call it, back, and just, man, they just took that game. That was like, what? They had all the keeps down on the second objective.
Yeah, it was very well manipulated. As we said, the first objective, they all in. They got so much value out of that bottom lane. They went back up top after the end of the objective, got that wall down with the boss, and then it just kind of, and then won the next objective after that, and it really snowballed the game heavily in their favor. And yeah, I think the point that was made before that too much value on the Medivh protects to keep the kind of squishy targets like Ana and Falstad alive was just not good enough. With so much engage potential from Varian, from Tracer, from Stukov, from Sonya, there's just so much like they could open up with onto those low mobility heroes that they just weren't in any position to find the time they needed to win those fights.
Yeah, and they really just didn't have much damage as well. Like, look at the damage on, I mean, if you still have this screen up, but look at the damage on this, like, Calfast number 1, Medivh second. Falstad only had 27,000 damage here. Just had a tough time there.
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt that the damage numbers were low. In fact, the Medivh was the highest one on the side of RewinD, 44,000. And then Sonya and Leoric was the next one after that. So yeah, not getting the value you want out of that Falstad, and kind of what I was concerned about with that composition from the start is if you got a Medivh, you kind of also want another heavy hitter, and Falstad just never feels like he's that. He's never that. He's always good, but he never has that like this hero's gonna 1-0 you.
Yeah, I think they put, like, someone in chat said they just put too much faith in that Medivh, and yeah, you gotta kill people. I mean that's pretty obvious, but you know what I mean. Like, if you can't defend forever, you have to fight back. Yes, please.
Sure thing. And so, anyways, let's take it to a quick break while we set up the next game. Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3. We're going to be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Looks like the map choice for Sky5, as RewinD, the losing team from the last map, did go for first pick. So it'll be pretty interesting. It's a very similar map in some cases, but not nearly as big. It doesn't have as many boss plays available. So
a lot better for ganking and those kind of things. But yeah, of course, once again, that top lane is priority. But you said Sky5 picked this map? Well, RewinD picked the last map, and Sky5 seemed to know exactly what they were doing for that one. So
yeah, first pick, having the first 2 victories on the map today. We'll see if that changes at all in the next round. This map, though, like, you could see that draft we saw from RewinD almost work a bit better. Obviously swapping the Falstad for something else a little more useful on this map. With the fact that you have Medivh, you can actually do really good rotation ganks here on this map. So we might see that resurface again. As in the last map, again, even with Medivh, it's hard to really get that aggression working on a map like Alterac Pass, where it's just so large from between lane to lane.
gonna spam emotes while we're waiting. Emote spamming. Let's highlight that tracer. All right. Oh, never mind. We're going. I didn't even get to emote. There you go. I got it in.
I actually really liked Quan Finnegan from last matchup. The Sonya leaps were making a lot of those fights seem almost impossible to run. Just because they had that, again, it's that little extra bit of engagement that you aren't expecting all the time. Just kind of coming in and smashing in on those low mobility heroes. So Zarya is going to be the ban out here. Again, this map in particular, Zarya can be quite good on the pushes. And again, the rotations are a little bit easier. You don't lose out as much on the macro by picking a hero like that. But again, it's kind of been the standard just to remove the Zarya from play for RewinD. Lucio is probably going to be the next ban.
Yeah, we have been kind of seeing the same bans here. But I want to see that Zarya. Why do they always do that? They ban the hero and then make me want to see it really badly. All right, Lucio there. Okay, so probably going to see a Sylvanas on one side or the other. No, we get a Jaina instead, which I do really like Jaina on this map. Her wave clear is extraordinary, and the Furl has been. Go ahead.
RewinD has the first pick on this, so I'm not. I think Sylvanas is definitely something that they're looking to pick up if they can. It's probably what's going to get banned out here by Sky5, as they probably don't want to deal with that, as she is still very much a top tier assassin. And that is going to be the case. What I like to see her on this map, though, is actually Junkrat. But since the changes, I'm not entirely certain if we're going to really be seeing him as much as I expected to see.
I feel like Junkrat and Whitemane were banned until.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Every time a new change or something, teams don't have enough time to know how to play or play against it. So. But once again, we're seeing the same Kalthas and Stukov. They did.
Not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. They did such a good job last time.
Well, Kalthas, got a lot of value with those follow-up stuns, and that's the thing. Like, the protect wasn't saving anyone because you had 2 really good long stuns that you have to get through. Both Gravity Lapse and Taunt are some of the longest stuns in the game. So it's a bit frustrating there to deal with, but we are going to get the Raynor and Anduin. I am liking this pickup from RewinD. Those are 3 very strong heroes to pick up on this map. Raynor wins a lot of trades, and unlike Falstad, can really pressure heroes like Stukov and Kalthas anytime they step up, and he's definitely a lot harder to burst down with his inherent healing capabilities plus his disengage with his Q. So Strong hero, and definitely something that Ryokai has been favoring a lot since he never gets Sylvanas.
Yep, and they don't want a repeat of the first match to happen, so that Greymane coming out. But the Anduin with the stun and the Greymane follow-up, I can see that. But yeah, I'm definitely liking both sides actually right now. So what are we gonna get here? We need yeah, I always love seeing the respect bands coming out here. Guys, we did not like that leap. Get that out of this game. That's gotta make you feel good on Sky5's team.
For sure. I mean, I assume they're still just going to kind of keep going down that Varian rabbit hole. We're going to come on Finnegan on the Phoenix, and of course, like I said, the Varian is going to come through. And the Phoenix was... I'm still not sold on it. And again, each time it comes out against a Rainer, I'm always concerned because the trade between those two heroes generally goes in Rainer's favor, especially once he hits 10, has that Raider. It's just so much consistent damage that keeps those shields down on Phoenix that he has a hard time surviving through that, plus the burst he can wipe out. But then we're going to get Hanzo and Chaotic on Hanzo, and Leoric picked up by Ghostnump. Leoric definitely was played well by Ghostnunk. He's just not a hero that can turn the game in your favor in one shot. But Hanzo, an interesting pickup. He did get nerfed a bit on his explosive arrow. We'll have to see if they still kind of go down that route.
I play Hanzo a lot, and ever since I started watching NGS, everybody going Q build, and I just am a sucker for that scatter arrow, so I don't mind it. The explosive arrow getting a little nerfed here. But Apple Mike getting his Tracer again, and once again we have Varian on the Goliath, Goliath on the Varian. So they really like this comp here.
I mean, it's been looking pretty polished from them. They are always getting those chain stuns into each other, and that seems to be kind of the crux of it all. We do have Anduin though, and unlike the last two maps, Anduin is one of those heroes that kind of can throw a wrench into this whole engagement philosophy. He does have a very long cleanse, so it is still 90 seconds versus the much faster fire off that they can get it. But as long as he's able to get those big heals in the cleanses, the light bombs to help disengage or engage in at the right times, it is enough, I think, to maybe throw a wrench in all of this. Especially since a couple of these heroes are going to be tough to kind of get in on. Like Johanna has her shield, and we have the get disengaged from Rainer and the heal and all that kind of stuff like that. But anyways, might as well just get right into the introductions here. On the side, we have RewinD looking to see if they can pull ahead in this series. Ryokai on the Rainer Fade playing Johanna Chaotic on the Hanzo. Who do you think playing Anduin and Ghostnunk on the Leoric?
All right, and on the red team, we have Furl on that Kalthas, Goliath on Varian, Apple Mike on that Tracer. I cannot see when they stand all next to each other. Quanfidigan on Phoenix, and Alan by default playing his Pride and True Stukov. So give it up for game 3, everybody. Who do you think's gonna take it? Who do you think probably thinks he's gonna take it? That was really bad. I'm sorry.
So opening handshake, going a little bit not favorable for Goliath there, as he's losing a good portion of his health, which isn't a big surprise, as he doesn't have his taunt. In fact, a root coming out from Anduin is going to put him into a bad spot. That's one thing that Anduin does bring that I didn't mention before, is the fact that he is going to be able to punish mobility with those follow-up roots, sort of like a Malfurion can.
All right, so normal early game on this map, just getting a mid-top rotation here. Phoenix versus Leoric in the bottom.
So it is going to be Q build coming out from Chaotic. He already has a stack on there, so making sure he's getting all of those Qs onto the Variant. As we can see, he keeps dropping pretty low in health each time he steps up. Apple Mike looking to put some pressure onto him, but you know, the thing is also Tracer suffers a bit into Raynor. Raynor almost 100% wins that trade every single time they run at each other. If she can catch him low and hit a pulse bomb on him, and he doesn't happen to have a heal up, then it's like a good trade. But like outside of that, anytime she walks into Raynor's range, it's just gonna be it's just gonna hurt.
Auto attack is the key to fighting Tracers. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for her.
I feel like they've made the adjustments they need to. Hanzo's a little bit riskier in the sense that he doesn't have that. He's a little bit more ability based and a little bit harder. But again, if he lands any of his burst combo onto her, that's still a really scary spot to be in if you're Tracer.
For sure. Can we take a look at the bottom? What is going on in the bottom there? Yeah.
So Apple Mike pop down to see if they can gank onto Ghost Dunk, but
be getting a trying to get a gank on there, but getting that bottom lane is actually pushing out pretty far. Kind of fitting it at, like, I am not a solo laner, so I'm always interested in what's going on in the solo lane. Apologies for that, because I know it's not where the action is going, but I love the macro in this game. So Leoric versus Phoenix is an interesting one.
It's just generally a rough spot for Leoric, because he can't get easily into it. Now they're actually get a big rotation in there. Nice kill, and 13 gems actually dropped.
Yep. I really liked that rotation out of them there.
Good play. And that's also going to give them kind of control of the bottom lane where they can actually get in a bunch of their turn in here. So I don't think they're quite there. They're a little bit off, but very close. Now they have enough. So if they get one more turn in here, we might be seeing Sky5 getting the first turn in there off that pick off of Leoric, but not quite yet. Furl looking to see if he can poke in there, but realizing he's not going to be able to. Does back out real quick. Glath popping in onto Hanzo, looking for that taunt, but the follow-up wasn't quite there. There was no silence pool. There was no tracer bomb quite ready. No follow-up from Furl either. And so he can just Hanzo jump his way over the wall, gets out nice and safely. And we're kind of back to business as usual. Despite the kill, things looking pretty even experience-wise. With a slight lead in gems still kind of for Sky5, although Goliath might be looking to be getting picked off here. Root comes in, he gets super low. Apple Mike goes in to put pressure, but as I said before, every single time he walks in there to try to get damage in, he's just going to eat a ton from Raynor. But it was enough time to buy them what they needed to get the turn in. Now we're going to see a 5-man rotation to top lane, all of them burning out onto Johanna, and there is the leap of faith going to keep her alive. All that damage coming out, trying to see if they can get the pick off, but Faith stays alive. So as we saw there, the effect of Anduin kind of keeping or kind of stopping the deaths from coming through.
And this is interesting. We're seeing the same kind of strat they had in Alterac Pass, with, as you said, there are very similar maps. But we have this 5-man push in the top lane, which is the priority lane with that boss here. Leoric in the middle trying to clear up those minions. And as you said in the last one, the Web Weavers do a little more on their own than the prison people do. I forget what their names are. But we get a takedown on the Anduin here and a follow-up takedown on the Raynor, and that is going to net them this fort for sure.
Very well played. We saw them kind of step out of vision, walk up through the upper channel there, and then come in and find the target that they wanted to kill, which was Anduin. As the, opening up into Johanna didn't work the first time, and really anyone that they do that to is going to probably live. But Anduin, he can't leap himself out. So we do get a really good rotation and immediately onto the boss. They do clean up the other lanes. We do have a turn-in pick capable for RewinD. Fate's going to walk right in on this. Leoric is going to be a little bit late to the party, but I think Sky5 is in a bit of a bad spot as they are super low, and that's going to be the kill onto Tracer. Goliath's still sitting really low, trying to put the pressure onto Raynor, but it's not enough. He does go down. Ryokai's still dropping below 200 health, but I think it's going to be Allen by default that goes down. Quantum Finnegan is also going to get picked off here by Leoric. Almost certainly he's going to grab that. Oh yeah, for sure he goes down. Furl maybe escapes out of it. The root does not quite land, and that's going to be a boss steal by RewinD. They trade out 2 heroes for 3. They get the boss, they get the turn in, they don't lose any gems, and that the game might just flip around a little bit there from
Yeah,
that big
nice
fight.
comeback there from RewinD. Taking out that pressure, and now they're going to be able to get a Web Weaver turn in, and yeah, like you said, there's a little flip here. But Sky5 has been doing such a good job so far. Nice cleanup of the boss there. But we do have 10 from RewinD, and it is going to be, oh, it's going to take a while for Sky5 to get 10. I don't know if they're going to be able to get it to defend this too well.
Yeah, the thing is that boss play was pretty risky from any look at it. The death armors are too low, and the fact that they had already dropped a bit of their own cooldowns plus health bars to be able to go for it, they didn't have 10s available. Just a lot of factors there that kind of don't allow it to get the value that you wanted to get out of it. They did almost get it, but it just wasn't able to kill fast enough. So now we're going to get the top fort down, bottom wall is down, mid wall is not quite, so they did have pretty good defense everywhere else on the map here. But that top web weaver is still healthy and is probably going to push in okay onto this top keep. And we are going to get the bottom fort taken out as we see the full rotation out from RewinD here. And it looks like Ghost Dunk finding an angle to see if he can get a big entomb off. And he is going to land it. There's a big stun front, and that's going to be light bomb. 2 are probably going to die here. We do get the kill onto Stukov. So Goliath does manage to walk away, but that is another big staggered death there for RewinD. And that'll probably give them turn in number 2 here.
Yeah, they do. They are only 2 gems away from that. This is going to be hard. I'm trying to think of like, okay, what do they need to do? What does Sky5 need to do? And that boss play just completely turned the tables on them. This is going to be a second web weaver push, and if you get too far behind, ooh, okay, this is what they need. Nice taunt onto Ryokai here. But we just don't, no one else was there.
Yeah, there wasn't any additional follow-up damage there. It's like you got the great burst combo. If they just had a tracer or anything available at that moment, it probably would have been enough to secure the kill onto Ryokai. Especially since he was split from his healer at the time. So
they were able to delay the turn-in and get gems turned in on their own, although I don't know if they're going to be able to. Okay, they're able to get the poke on the Anduin here.
A bit of a risky spot to be in as Phoenix is split from them, but we also noticed that Leoric is also not positioned anywhere. He's trying to get this camp on his own. Not exactly the play I generally like to see from Leoric, but
they don't see Leoric on the map, so they still have to be careful. Like they don't know where he is at the current moment.
Yeah, he's going to grab that camp by himself.
He went back. They are able to delay the turn-in though, which is so great, really, really good. But 13s are about to be popped here.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing. I don't know if RewinD's all that concerned about not getting the turn-in. I think that they're more interested in trying to see if they can grab that 13. But it is going to be Ghost Dunk that's going to drop here, as he was a little bit too far out while the turn-in was happening. And that's kind of what you want to happen, but that is a big part of their combo already dropped there.
Except it's Leoric.
And Leoric is going to be back up by the time these web weavers hit the wave. So still expect to see a bit of aggression coming out here as 13s are just about to hit. Like I said, I don't think that they're interested in a fight until they hit 13s, and that's just about to happen here. Catapult up here. This is going to help clear out this web weaver though pretty quickly. Ghost Dunk is now walking in on everyone, looking to see if he can find another big entomb to make something happen. Top lane has been burnt down pretty well. I think with the catapult pressure too as well. It's not really going to get a whole lot done. So they're transitioning into the mid lane, see if they can find something. Goliath is half health. Apple Mike looking to see if he can find a flanking position. Yeah. But it's a scary spot to go on by himself. And now it looks like Phoenix is in big trouble. Barely gets out.
Getting the heck out of Dodge, yeah.
That teleport didn't go off. Those scatter arrows were 100% going to kill him there. There was almost no way he would live. So now the transition is going to be into the bot lane here. We can see them kind of posturing up to see if there's a big blessed shield. And that got onto Quan Finnegan. He does not have his teleport. Life bomb does go out, but he does manage to live with 100 health. And that is just lucky.
That Stukov ultimate pushing him away. Oh, that was beautiful. Nicely done.
So all keeps are still up after that turn-in, and that means Sky5 is in a position to get their own turn in. Boss is also available again. So they might be able to start turning things around here in their favor.
I don't particularly know these teams, and I have cast both of them, but for some reason I'm just like, go Sky5! I don't know why, just because they're like on the back foot, and they're like, I'm always cheering for the team on the back foot.
So the Web Weaver's in the top. Yeah, I agree with you. It is nice to see the underdogs, try to get ahead in a lot of these. But I mean, Sky5 made it here in convincing fashion over a lot of their opponents, and RewinD has to prove it here. And this mid fort looks like it is going to be going down.
Mm-hmm. All right, but the top and that bottom, they're not going to get much done. The most they're going to do is clear up those waves, so they won't have to worry about those catapults. So I like this decision here to try to get as much value as possible from this middle web weaver. Once again, all 5 members here pushing with this guy.
Now, they do have to be a bit careful, though. There is a huge amount of engage tools available on the side of RewinD, and it looks like they're trying to see it. I mean, them grouped up right there would be the most money, like, Dragon Arrow in the world. And that's a huge achievement on deferral. There's the Dragon Arrow follow-up.
The ultimate down from Stukov once again, pushing them away. But the taunt going down into Ghost Gun, and he is deleted. And that is going to net them a fort in the bottom, and those weapons are going to be able to clear it up pretty easily there. But what is the health at the bottom, Web Weaver? Is it?
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's going to die.
Okay, they're not like forts. They don't start graying out when they get low on health.
Yeah, no, it's a goner. But still, really good exchange there for Sky5. Getting that pick off on Ghost Dunk and avoiding kind of that big engagement.
No, this is scary. Okay, well, okay, they do see Hanzo in the middle though, but Leoric, okay, good. Okay, they're starting to back off. Okay, there goes the stun into Leoric, pulse bomb.
So Ghost Dunk does manage it out. Goliath might be a little bit extended here. We might see the engagement coming back out, but most of the tools are still up. We're gonna have to see if the Entomb is gonna be able to pop out here with 500 health on Goliath. He is going to peel off, so there will be no boss play that is going to happen here, which is probably a good thing, as they were down 16s, and that rotation could have been really, really bad for them. So
I didn't like it. I did not like that at all. I was like, please, no. Leoric is going to be back up, so they disengage, and yeah, like you said, they don't even have 16 yet, which they will be getting here pretty soon.
Yeah, with that camp pickup and with the top wave clear, they should be able to get 16. It's pretty scot-free there.
Chat, throw pit again. You guys are feeling the same thing I was feeling. I was like, no, don't walk into the light, Marianne. Don't do it. All right, but they're fine.
I'm sorry, I've been hearing some weird things in my house.
Weird things going on in Zilthoid's house. Everybody send something. Maybe
kids are doing something weird over there. I don't know.
Maybe some snakes. All right. Anyways, so we have pretty even game actually now, but we do have a turn in available for RewinD, nothing for Sky5. They still have quite a few gems to go here before they're able to get a turn in. So right now they're just going to be trying to defend those turn in points as much as possible. Apple Mate going in there, getting stunned by the Johanna. They are just dancing around each other right now. And Leoric able to get the gems turned in on the bottom.
Yeah, so they were able to play the lanes very well there to make sure that they couldn't stop it from happening. Fade kind of poking in and getting it, but simultaneously doing it at the bottom. But now Furl is in a bit of trouble. But nice counter engagement coming out onto Ryokai. The pulse bomb, looking to see if they can finish him off. Doing his best to get the kill. Applemic does manage to actually secure it.
Very nice.
Now things are looking bad for RewinD. They're going to have to try to disengage out of this. But 20 health for who do you think?
Apple Mike is trying so hard to get in there to get that kill, but I think 2 is pretty good. Now they're going to be able to clear up these lanes, no problem.
So yeah, it was an aggressive play, but Ryokai stepping out into range of that taunt, and it was just enough to be able to find the kill they needed there. And then Ghost Dunk, thinking that they were on the aggression, unfortunately gets isolated in the backline and gets picked off. And yeah, the Web Weavers are going to do pretty much nothing. They didn't do a thing. So now we're going to see if RewinD can stop this boss play from happening, but I just don't know if they're going to put back up this time.
Every single time they come up to this boss, my heart just starts racing. Everyone is back up. Everyone is up, although they are burning this boss pretty quickly. I don't know if they're going to be able to get up there in time. Nope, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get up there in time. And they have a turn in. So what do you do here if you're RewinD? Do you defend the boss? I don't think you're going to be able to defend both. So yeah, I think this is the right call. Try to get that boss down as much as possible so they're able to defend those web weavers.
Good thing is that because of how they staggered out the Web Weavers and the boss play, the other 2 lanes aren't a big risk, and at least not yet. And it looks like they're going to be able to burn this boss down before it really gets a whole lot of pressure onto the keep. But with that follow-up from the Web Weaver, this top keep is going to go down. Actually, they're going to get it with the boss anyways. So.
But look at the middle and bottom Web Weavers.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time getting into anywhere effective. So this top lane is going to get cleared out. And it looks like we're going to see Sky5 do the rotation to see if they can get something else out of this turn-in. You know, a keep's still good. This still puts them ahead, but you kind of almost wanted to be looking for the game ender there. They're going to have 20s, though.
Okay, but I mean, they are going to be able to, yeah, they are going to have 20, and this middle Web Weaver is about half healthy here, so not all is lost, but I mean, they got that keep before the Web Weavers even made it there, so this is going to be tricky. Okay, they do have 20. They have a limited amount of time with this advantage, though.
Very limited, and that Web Weaver is gone. They should still be able to pick off this mid keep as the engagement.
They've got to be careful.
There's a big,
dragon arrow.
huge dragon arrow, and that might actually cause them some big problems. This Pearl's going to go down here.
Goes down. Team are trying so hard to peel them off of that team, but just not able to do it in time. There goes down the silence, but it looks like they are going to be able to disengage with only that Kalthos kill, and that is much better than, you know.
It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been much worse. Could have been.
If they had 20 and that was Silence and Tomb, that was probably game over.
Yeah. Silence and Tomb.
Because they would not have been able to peel out either the Tracer or the Varian that were caught in there at the same time, and that would have been absolutely terrible. So the one luck thing for them is 20 ticked a literal moment after Entomb was dropped. So Silence and Tomb was not able to be picked up there. But we're going to get another re-engagement here, and things still looking pretty rough for Sky5. Quan Finnegan barely getting out with his life there. I do think he did not take Indomitable. He did take Secondary Fire. So, you know, if he does die there, he dies.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even see that. He took... Okay, so he is not scared for his life at all. He just wants to deal more damage. But yeah, if that Lyric has been hitting those Entombs all game, so I am now a little scared because, like you said, Silence Entomb is now here and ready to play. So they really need to watch those.
Yeah, Silence Entomb will end games, and we've seen it many times before. Level 20s, we have Execute, Bullseye, Silence Entomb, Varian's Legacy, and Radiant Faith. Instead of Indestructible. Interesting. Then Demoralizing.
You said Variant's Legacy, and I was like, Variant's Legacy? Variant's on the other team. Oh, no. Sorry. Just a little bit of lore there for you. Sadness. All right. Anyways, he's beating up his legacy there.
Absolutely. still a little bit off from the next Webweaver phase, so everyone not really wanting to give up anything easy in the middle of the map here.
This is the point of this map where it tilts into long and grindy.
Yeah. The one advantage is top lane is going to be a constant headache for RewinD. And Sky5 is kind of daring them to position themselves up there. So it's like, if they did back off though, so we're probably going to see a quick clear up from Hanzo or Leoric, one of the two going up there to just deal with that lane. It looks like the whole group's going to go for it instead. They know that they're closer to the turn-in, so they're not too worried. They realize that it's probably, when it comes down to when they're going to finally turn in, it's going to be the next big team fight. So they're trying to see if they can posture in and maybe sneak some gems in on rotations. But and Fade does manage to get 7 more in, so we're very close.
This is just such a scary position for both teams. Like, any team fight could end the game. Yeah.
Even if they lose only 1 or 2 heroes, I mean, if RewinD gets a pick off, like even 1 hero, that almost immediately translates into boss and turn in. That's pretty much game, I think, at this stage of the game.
It's going to be hard to ignore that, though. I mean, it's going to be hard to just kind of keep skirting around here on Sky5's side, because if they get a Webweaver turn in, that's just going to flip the tables back once again.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like we got positioning here. Ryokai's going to look at the turn in, Fade in, stepping up to see, but no, they are going to continue to be warded off here. The top lane is pushing out a bit, which is kind of surprising, as they've been able to stack a catapult up there, which has been helping. A huge silence tomb onto Racer, though. Not exactly the single target you wanted to, and Ryokai got really low. I think there was an attempt on there to get the kill, and now they have to back off the turn in, and that's going to give up positioning to Sky5, and they are almost
don't have
turning.
Enough gems. Yeah, they don't have enough gems. Fast is up, but that Entomb, that was the chance that they had to take a fight there. The Entomb went down, but the back. I love how they instantly backed off. Like, they didn't get anything from that Entomb, and RewinD instantly backed off, knowing that was the chance that Sky5 had to get in there. And this is interesting. Oh my gosh, they're going for the boss, but they see him in the bottom lane.
Yeah, they were playing on the fact that they knew that Sky5 was going to do whatever they can to delay this turn in. And that actually forfeited the boss. They didn't think they'd go for it. And now it's boss turn in, and they might even be able to delay this into maybe even delay this into a turn in. Not quite, but that boss is just going to push top lane. There's a big silence on Finnegan. He might be in big trouble, but it's Ghost Dunk that drops him.
Leoric goes down, and if they can get this, they can completely ignore the boss and just go for core. If they can get another kill here, Goliath looking for Ryokai, going for somebody, Anduin goes down, and this could be game. Oh man.
Boss is pushing in the top lane.
Boss is, but I think, they're just
Ghost Dunk is going to be back up here. This could be still a bit of a risky call. Like, I don't know.
I'm really scared right now, because
core is going to be tough here.
Core out of this. If they don't get the core out of this, I don't know if that boss can take core down, but okay, all right, it's starting to go down. Leoric is back up. He will have Entomb.
Yeah, that's going to be Phoenix down. That's going to be Kael'thas down. Goliath is going to drop here. Silence is going to guarantee kills. And that's going to be the end of the game. As far as I can see it, I think RewinD, by the skin of their teeth, are going to pull off a victory here. As the core call, while close, was a bit questionable. I was concerned that they didn't have what it needed. And with this prepping from the boss in the top lane, it looks like it's going to be.
They needed another kill there. But, I mean, like, I understand where they're coming from. Like, the game was just going to keep dragging on and on, Like, they could have defended that boss, and then, but then they would have a turn in, and everyone would be back. That was, yeah. They needed one more kill, though, I think, because Leoric just comes back too fast.
Yep.
But still, GG, game number 3. We are on to game number 4, and this is a series.
I mean, for sure. Huge numbers putting up by both damage dealers on the side of RewinD. Good matchup from Phoenix that game. He actually had a pretty decent matchup. Not as big a threat from a lot of the like the engagement from say like an Nubrak would be, but at the same time, it was a close match all the way through. By the skin of their teeth, RewinD manages to get a core defense into a victory there and puts them into match point range.
I feel like that was Sky5 kind of giving that game. That was, oh man, though, but that boss was so wonderful. They saw them in the bottom lane and just took advantage of that, and they're able to burn through it so fast. Beautiful play, RewinD. Great job. That boss pit every single time scared the crap out of me. It's like, no, please stop. Please.
Well, while we wait for the next setup, we'll just go to a quick break for everybody, and we will be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody.
And we are going next game is to Cursed Hollow. Do we know who picked this map?
Yeah, it looks like it's RewinD.
RewinD? Okay. Trying to think if they picked the last map too.
No, they didn't.
Oh no. Sky5 picked the last map.
First pick is won every game.
You're right, actually.
So no one wanting the dreaded map pick at this point.
Apparently, yeah.
So we'll see if this goes to game 5. Based off of the last match, though, it could very well go down to the wire between these two teams.
Man, it's been going down to the wire almost every single game except for the second one. That was pretty stumpy. But first and third games have been. This is definitely very different than the last two maps. Last two maps kind of had the same idea, but this is. I'm gonna say I want to see Abathur.
Yeah, I mean, this has some similarities to Alterac Pass in its size, in its kind of objective style, and kind of the double boss capabilities on this map, although the bosses are a little bit more of a win condition on this map, and you don't have to have all the keeps down for it to work.
Yeah, they do more, definitely.
But yeah, Abathur definitely is something that we can expect to see here. I expect actually a reemergence of that offlane Rhaegar again. I think it's something they like to play on big maps. Anything that has camps and things like that, where they can get advantage in that sense. I kind of expect to see them pull that out again.
Except we didn't see Rhaegar in the solo lane in that first game, but do you think he would do that in this map?
I mean, it's hard to say because, like you said, they could go Phoenix again, stick him in the lane, and then use Rhaegar for the camps.
Yeah, or we could see Falstad again. Falstad is actually pretty good on this map, but Falstad just didn't work out very well. Although I think that was more of the
combo. Yeah. It was the combo between the Medivh Falstad that I felt like was more of the letdown rather than just the Falstad itself.
Yeah.
You need something with some finishing power, a little bit more like, kill potential whenever you're running a Falstad, because Falstad is good in a lot of like isolated 1v1 situations. He can be all right. And like he can definitely dish the damage, but like he doesn't really have that finishing capability that like a Greymane does.
So if we see repeat of our last few matches, let me guess, Lucio.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% positive they're going to try to keep Who Do You Think off of that Lucio again. But I really liked Zanduin play, so I mean that's definitely another one of those heroes that it's kind of like you can keep banning the Lucio, but are you leaving better picks up for doing so? So Zarya, I mean, this is probably my least favorite Zarya map, or at least one of them.
But I mean, there's something that they're good, yeah.
Yep. And considering how close these games are, you probably just don't want to be giving any of those.
Yep.
Those power picks up. You're winning with it off the table, so you might as well read it off of the table.
So I'm going to be curious if they just do not like that Raynor, which I understand. Ryokai on that has a killer Raynor. Sylvanas on this map she doesn't have that objective to push with. So yeah, we're going to see a Sonya ban, and now Sylvanas is on the table. Her damage output is still phenomenal, but I'm going to be interested to see if either of the teams want to pick her up here.
I like Sylvanas, and we're going to see it picked up here. And the reason is that while she doesn't amplify the curse as well, she does do well with the camps and the boss. And those are both very impactful things, particularly the bosses on this map. A good push with a Sylvanas in any of those lanes with a boss can easily open up a keep nice and early in the game, and that's why they're going to go right for it. First pick on Sylvanas, and it seems like RewinD allowed it to go, so they must be feeling okay with losing that, and instead are going to prioritize Greymane and Johanna.
So Yeah, and her damage is nothing to sneeze at as well, especially, with her recent, not recent, but her new changes. Her sustained damage is great, and especially in late game can really start going up. And once again, we see Alan on that Stukov, and this time Furl is going to playing Li Ming. I love Li Ming on this map. So many corners and angles that you can shoot from to disrupt that tribute.
I feel like easiest variant ban of your life though here. Like you probably don't want that silence taunt Li Ming combo going off on you, and that's exactly what we're gonna see. There goes the ban.
So he's been playing Varian every single game this series. So what is he gonna do now? What is he going to do now? But yes, I agree. People underestimate because no one in freaking this game plays taunt. So every time I play Li Ming and somebody's on a Varian, I'm like, look, if you would just go taunt, they would be deleted. It's the easiest follow-up in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the taunt; it is the taunt silence that's been really making the big impact there, I believe. But for sure, that combo is pretty classic. Taunt Li Ming is very classic, which is why we see the variant ban. Medivh is going to be taken off the board just so they don't have to deal with that. Now we're going to see Chen and Nguyen. So Chen has fallen off in priority as of late. Some of the nerfs, I guess, to a few of those kind of overpowered talents, as Blizzard would say, kind of knocking him off that high horse he was riding on for a very short period of time. But I still think he's more impactful than he was before the rework. So the Storm, Earth, and Fire is still a very impactful ultimate. He can still be an absolute terror in the lane, and yeah. So this is Sky5 just kind of sticking to that. They don't run a traditional offlaner. They don't have that double frontline kind of thing, and we have a Muradin instead of a Marion. I'm really concerned about this draft from them. Muradin does give you similar kind of effects to Varian, but at the same time, it's not as easy to get that kind of chain stun kill setup as you would get out of the Varian.
So what I'm worried about is, look at the gross burst from RewinD over here, and Muradin is, he's more of an initiator, wouldn't you say? I mean, he can peel.
He can peel better than Muradin, or than Varian can, in a lot of ways, but he also doesn't, I feel like, survive through, like you're talking about, the burst combos quite the same way. He doesn't have that level of protect. He has to drop things like Avatar, really, to stay alive in those situations, and things like Cursed Bullet completely negate that. So if you eliminate the front line of Muradin, you don't have that initial stun initiation. If it misses the Storm Bolts on the appropriate targets, or they're eaten by Johanna's, it just becomes, that's the thing, taunts, if he gets a dive onto a target and pulls off the taunt, you can't do anything about it. Storm Bolts, you can kind of just field out of the way using your two frontliners like Chen and Johanna, and that's a little bit riskier. So we'll just see how the play goes, but I believe Lunara is low-key overpowered. And
I also do.
It's going to put a huge amount of pressure onto the side of Sky5, but let's just get to it. We have RewinD looking to see if they can end the season with a victory and the championship here. Chaotic on the Greymane Fade, playing Johanna. Ryokai on Lunara. Who do you think playing Anduin? And Ghostunk playing Chen.
All right, and on the red team, trying to get out a victory to bring us to game number 5. Don't want to go out without a fight. We have Furl on Li Ming, Quan Finnegan. I'm sorry. I'm so honest. Alan by default adds Stukov, Apple Mike once again playing that Tracer, which he's been doing such a great job on that Tracer. And Goliath this time on Muradin, not Varian. So we're going to see how his Mr. Dwarf plays go. So you know me, I'm going to be rooting for Sky5 because I want to go to a game 5. But I agree with you that Lunara do not take her lightly, especially when she gets 20 and starts, oh my gosh, that damage at level 20.
So we are going to see Chaotic Paid look to see if they can interrupt this rotation here, and they do a decent job of it, but Sylvana still squeaks through, so they're not really going to be able to delay out any of that XP that they were hoping to do with that positioning. But pretty much standard, we have we see the first objective is going to be spawning in the top lane, so Chaotic's going to immediately get the Giants camp out. We're also going to see them starting it on the side of Sky5. Generally, you want to delay this a little bit if you're on the bottom part of the map. You know, just at least enough to the point where it gives you the 30-second countdown. So they have time to travel into lane and get some value out of that while you guys are, or while the enemy team is trying to contest the objective. And the quick turnaround on the Giant camp in the top lane and then immediately onto the Bruiser camp in the mid lane is kind of give this similar effect of what we're trying to see is lane pressure being applied while the objective is being fought over, which is a very standard tactic on this map.
Okay, I'm just waiting to see like what I'm looking at the talents here. Level 4 specifically.
Ooh, Alan by default finding it not in a good spot. That Bruiser camp opening up a chance for a kill there, and they do manage to pull it off. And that's going to put them a little bit behind here. This camp is going to get a lot of value here in the lane. And another kill coming out onto Goliath. And that's kind of what we're talking about, the ability to stay away, stay alive during those burst situations. That route from Anduin just securing the kill.
This is just going to be hard. And that's, they are getting so much value from this here. And it looks like they're just going to give up this tribute, which wait. Li Ming went to the bot and then went back mid, so I wasn't entirely sure, but yeah, they're just going to give up this tribute.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of indecision on whether they were going to go for it or not, but with Muradin down and just respawning back up, I think it was the right play.
So this is what you were talking about before. They don't really have, like, that solo laner. So Finnegan wants to be, well, you know, he wants to be in the team, but he's being sent up to the top to kind of solo lane, and Li Ming also same deal here with that Tracer rotating around. The team fights, we're just gonna have to wait till team fights to see how this really plays out. But right now, RewinD is doing a great job with that macro play, and I mean they almost have a fort here in the middle before.
Yeah, they're putting great pressure in on that mid fort. You know, they got a lot of value in both the top and bottom lanes here. As again, you don't have traditional solo laners to really deal with this. Ryokai is just going to straight up win this bottom lane against Furrow, and there's really not a whole lot he can do about it with Nature's Calling and Splintered Spear. That just the amount of macro pressure he can put in that lane. There's really no counter for it. And Chen, of course, in the top lane is going to bully out anyone that's up there trying to deal with him. So, especially since there's no like rate on stuns capable, that kind of thing. Now they're going to delay this out. I don't really think RewinD cares whether or not they get this objective. I think it's kind of like if we get it, great. If not, well. But it does seem like they're harder committing to this than I was anticipating that they would.
I mean, there are no camps really pushing right now. So yeah, it really could go either way. Alan by default's trying to get that though, but there's a beautiful stun onto Ryokai there, and he goes down. That is exactly what they need, and nice silence there from the Zhukov as well.
Yeah, Ryokai getting a little bit too desperate to stall out that objective capture. It does kind of set up that kill that we were looking for. Kind of a little bit of that engagement that we were talking about missing from Varian, we were able to see come back in from the Muradin there. Now, both teams are going to be starting on their bosses. Obviously, they got a bit of a speed difference there coming in from
but I don't think
Sky5.
Sky5 would be able to rotate down in time in order to stop them from getting that boss, but they're definitely going to try. Oh, maybe? No. Maybe? No?
They won't make it in time, no, but
No.
they were going to attempt it.
Yep, the curse is here anyways, so... And, I mean, they knew they were on that boss. But, because the boss is in the boss lane... The boss is in the bot lane, they're going to have much less of a rotation in order to defend this. And the curse is right there, so... But they're not going to be going for this curse. Actually, RewinD getting 10, so they're just going to clear up this boss and try to get 10 themselves here. However, Tracer is rotating up to... Yeah, Tracer is rotating up to the top to get that fort down.
Just trying to kind of guarantee that fort goes down with the pressure, which was almost certain. Anyways, we're going to see Ryokai make the slow plot up there to see if he can burn this down before it gets any better value than a fort, which is already pretty decent. Mid camp is going to be pushing in here pretty quickly, and I think that's kind of be the trade that RewinD's looking for with their level 10s. But it is going to be 5 men rotated in by Sky5 to kind of push them off of this. And of course, Sylvanas is a very good anti-camp. Although she's getting a lot of pressure, and that's a big engagement coming out from that Blessed Shield. Goliath also super low. He doesn't have Avatar, so he can't re-engage until they hit 10. Light Bomb going out just to discourage any further kind of like re-engagement coming out from Sky5. And Fade just finding that Blessed Shield. And just, yeah, I even pointed it out right before that Blessed Shield came out that positioning on Sylvanas was questionable.
Yeah, this is a dangerous situation. Curse going over here, but they do have 10. And they were able to get... Okay, so Sylvanas going for that camp. That'll help with the minions, but look at that. They're just being aggressive here.
Yeah, now it was just with the posturing alone, they were able to push Tracer off of that fort defenses. They're a little bit wary of the engagement, even though if they were counting, they would know that the Blessed Shield wasn't quite up yet. But it will be here in a few seconds, and again, once that Blessed Shield comes back out...
I'm watching Apple Mike in particular. Nice stun that was there. There goes down the... I forget what that talent name is from Anduin. I always call it something different because Leap of Faith is weird because he's not the one leaping, the other person is leaping. So in my head I get confused. Anyways, nice call there. Lunar was able to get that top.
Chaotic though, finding himself in a really bad spot. No Leap of Faith able to keep him alive, so good pick off there. Yeah, just not respecting the rotation. They were not sticking with this team, giving them kind of an open. But curse value, not bad. They got the top fort. They got some good pressure on both the mid keep wall and the top keep wall. But Sky5 looking to see if they can get something out of that kill. Trying to find some pressure points. But the disengagement comes through. There's really not any other targets to go after, so they're just going to come and steal this siege camp here in the top lane. But really just a deny is all they were really going for in that situation, and then they're going to realize that they're a little bit overextended on the map. 13s are almost here for RewinD, so being in that position for a little too long could be a problem, so they're just going to back out, go look for their own camp, try to reestablish a map control after losing the curse.
Although, they did a really good job of defending, and getting that pick on that gray main was helpful in trying to get them back into this. They only lost, they have 2 forts down, and they got that fort on the top from that boss earlier. So it's actually not too bad, structure-wise.
We're going to see a full rotation from 13s. They're going to just come down here to the bottom lane and pick off this bottom fort. There's really not a whole lot Sky5 can do about it. They don't really want to fight them without 13s. No other big advantages on the map. They are going to try to leverage this camp, though, with Sylvanas in the mid lane to see if they can at least get some structure damage. But they do have to watch out for a flank here, as 13s are still not available yet. And if they find another target to drop that Blessed Shield onto, it could be a very scary spot. In fact, Ghost Dunk is going to go ahead and drop it. Blessed Shield comes out. Now it is going to be Quan Finnegan being picked off again.
Finnegan is in a bad spot. Yeah.
That's the second time that he's been killed by the Blessed Shield engagement.
Yeah, this is exactly what I just was worried about from the beginning. And it's just going to get worse. I mean, that Lunara damage is just going to keep going up and up and up and up.
Yeah, it's very high on the siege side of things right now at 81,000, which is 30,000 more than the closest, which is Li Ming at 51. So definitely getting a ton of value out of Lunara. And this is kind of what I like about Lunara is she does so much for you in the macro early game, and then she does so much more for you in the team fight late game, with the leaping strike, with the when they hit 16s with that unfair advantage. When those things start hitting in, the team fights get a little bit scary.
Mm-hmm.
So fast boss, and now we're going to see the rotation coming in.
Oh,
And I just
God.
don't know if
I'm
Sky5 is
scared.
really fast enough to grab this. They
Oh,
might
no,
have
they're
to back
not.
off.
And Apple Mike is in a bad spot if she gets busted shield. I'm just watching Fade, like Fade looking for that shield. And are they going to engage? Are they going to give this up? What? Okay, no, they do not want to give
There's
this up.
light
It goes
bomb
on the
going to
light
land
bomb.
on 2, and that's going to be putting Goliath really low. But they do stall it
push-
out
oh,
enough to be able to get the boss, but that's going to be a kill onto
but
Sylvanas. Apple Mike down to absolutely nothing. And Goliath, Ellen by default, both of them. Goliath is barely going to walk out of this using Avatar. Li Ming had to
Pearl
peel
also
off.
getting out of there.
And,
they were able to get the boss, but at what cost? I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I did.
Yeah. So they are going to have Lunara go back here and clear out the boss, as it is going to be threatening keep walls, so you don't really want to leave that up there. But you also want to get some sort of advantage out of those kills. So we're going to see a little bit of pressure coming into the mid lane from Chaotic. They're going to be able to snipe well, but they're not going to be able to stay much longer. They're going to have to peel out of here as the death timers are still low enough at 12 minutes in the game. But 16s are here, and Furl might be the next target, but there's no engagement available for another 7 seconds.
Ooh, Goliath using his leap to jump over that wall, and Johanna is just sitting right there. But they do see Lunara in the top, so if they can get at something, getting a delay on the Anduin. Look, yeah, see, they know that Lunara is in the top, so that's why they're trying really hard to get something here. And that's why RewinD is trying really hard to get the heck out of there. They do not want to give them anything.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the problem with the non-variant in this kind of setup is just they don't have that ability to just quickly pull that trigger. They really have to line up skill shots. They can't miss the hammers, and if they do, it's just not going to hit onto the appropriate targets. Like again, they've been hitting Chen's, they've been hitting Johanna's. What they really need to be doing is getting onto the other targets.
Ooh, that
But Chen is
nice
also really low.
onto that Chen, but is he able to get the panda? He's able to get the panda pulse off, but the light bomb. Double light bomb. 2 heroes go down, 3 heroes go down, and once again, Goliath and Furl, the last ones standing, and this is going to be a curse for RewinD. Things are not looking good for our team in the sky.
Yeah, with those 3 kills plus curse being hit here and this camp being pushed in, they're looking to probably end the game in the mid lane, it looks like. Death timers are still pretty low, though, so we could still see an effective defense come back up here. So they might not go for the all-in on the core, but they do have Greymane Lunara, and both of these heroes are very good at burning down core. But we can already see that they're being a little bit more respectful. But Goliath getting caught in a big combo is going to be a death toll for him. And with that pickoff, though, things are looking pretty dire for Sky5. This could be the last leg of the tournament life, and if there's additional kills there, which there is looking to be, another 3 go down, that's going to be it.
And this is going to be
Sky5 is going to lose, and RewinD is going to win. GG.
Yeah, that comp was just beautiful ban there from on the variant, but even with the variant, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the variant definitely would have helped with, what they were doing before. They were kind of ignoring that front line and being able to get the picks on the, the back line, the damage dealers. So Lunara especially that variant would have been great with. But yeah, the Chen just getting.
They had no one to eat those big stuns coming out from Johanna, and as soon as she landed those big
so
Blessed Shields, it immediately turned into, okay, Blessed Shield, Light Bomb, and then all the damage. And if you're just stationary that long, and so many squishy targets, they're just gonna die. And yeah, so despite a very close game number 3, game number 1, and a victory on game number 2, game number 4 was pretty handily in favor of RewinD. The draft was better. They found the picks and the targets. They played the
Yeah.
macro, and
But still,
come out win.
a great fight by Sky5. I know RewinD was pretty favored coming into this series, so Sky5 can, I think, walk away with their heads held high. They did a really great job.
For sure. Well, we should take a small break while we set up an interview with our champions.
Champion.
And, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the stream. We've got the whole team, RewinD here to join us here for their victory lap at the end of the season. How is everyone feeling?
I mean, those were some insane games. That's like, I know we're like basically at a loss for words, honestly.
Sorry, I can't hear you and you're still really quiet.
Oh well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, you probably just have to turn up chaotic in Discord.
Okay.
It's okay. My team's used to it at this point.
Chaotic is also sick too.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we're feeling good. Those were close games. They made us fight for each and every one of them. So well played to Sky5 GGs.
Yeah, we saw the Zarya ban was pretty much consistent throughout the map, and the game still ended up being pretty close. You guys happy that it was kept off the field for you? Do you think it was true?
Yeah, definitely. Especially from the semifinal matches where we watched like Zarya win. Like I think Sky5 picked Zarya 3 games in a row, and they won all 3 of those games. And we were like, do we really want to let this one through on our end? They seem very confident on the Zarya, and because of that, like we didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah,
So-
I'm really wanting to see that. Sorry, yeah.
Game number 1 was back and forth, but what do you think was the key to your guys' victory on that match?
I don't know. Those games are all very stressful. I feel like we just were communicating really well, and we played patient and like found the picks when we needed them, and we're able to get the picks in fights and just kind of play things patient and slow. There was somebody who I forget who it was, probably Fade or Ghost Dunk, that called for us to rotate when they were racing with like 1 or 2 people alone on like Phoenix or something, and that really I think turned the game, and we were able to kind of keep that lead from there.
It was absolutely Fade.
I also think we made a good call to switch cocoon targets midway through, which kind of helped us because we realized the Ancestral was probably hurting us more in fights than Phoenix was.
Yeah.
Also, Phoenix would be what I would consider a good engagement target for a new Brack, typically speaking, as he's a big fat boy.
Yeah, that's true. We would think, like, originally our plan was to cocoon the Phoenix just so he couldn't get his purification salvo off, and then we'd be able to survive the burst. But we realized that we could survive the burst, it was just we couldn't get any picks unless we cocooned Rhaegar or Stukov.
So, I don't know about you, but I really want to hear about kind of what was going on in, what was that? Tomb of the Spider, was that Tomb of the Spider Queen? Where it went to 33, your core went to 33%?
Oh yeah, that was game 3, yes.
I kind of want to hear about what was going on in comms and decisions in that game. That was a phenomenal comeback there.
Honestly, like it was just very, very stressful all around. All I remember is just like everyone just screaming out like names of other characters. We gotta get rid of this, like I don't know, tracer, etc., etc. And it was just very, very messy. But we ended up managing to pick off every single hero that needed to get killed in order, which meant that they weren't able to do enough damage to actually finish the claw.
Yeah, fights of that game were really hard because we kept trying to get Entomb on like the squishy backline targets, but then Varian did such a good job zoning us, same with Tracer diving in, that it was really hard to like push past him to actually get damage on them. So we kind of just have to split fights the whole game, and so when they kind of couldn't really engage on us any further, I guess they kind of then overextended and we were able to pick them off when they were on the core. And then yeah, after that we were just super kind of stressed and just saying, go in the game immediately. don't let him come back.
Okay, well, you guys are the champions, so now you can go have a beer and relax and get that stress off because you won. So you should feel awesome now. No more stress.
Yes. We're, I think, exhausted, but happy.
Yeah. As soon as my heart stops pounding, then
Yeah.
sure, maybe at that point.
But those
Let
are
you know
the
in
good
2
sets.
hours.
I was curious, did you guys just have a big sigh of relief when you're able to get that 3rd ban onto Varian in game number 4?
Honestly,
yeah,
not
we
so
were-
much.
We were still kind of like debating stuff the whole way through the matches of what the bans should be and things like that, because it changes based on the map and whether we're first pick or not and stuff like that. But yeah, I do think that kind of probably got them off the comfort a little bit, and they might not have been expecting it, and so
Yeah, that Varian ban. I mean, he had played nothing else the entire series, so that must have been was a linchpin there.
I think it
Anyways.
was also influenced by the Ming pick, so we wanted to prevent the reset, and we thought that Varian had the best way of setting that up for them. So we
Yeah, I agree. I felt that that was kind of the thing. You guys were kind of handed that opportunity to remove it, as a lot of the other tools that you'd be looking to get out of the way in that rotation were gone. So, and it seemed like that's what happened when you got into game number 4. Is as soon as that kind of obstacle was out of the way, the rest of your guys' play seemed comfortable, and theirs seemed a little bit less so. And I think just that small dynamic turned the game really kind of hard in your guys' favor, and it was a pretty dominant game number 4.
Yeah, it was actually.
We needed one of those because all the previous 3 games were very, very close the whole time, and we were stressed the whole time. So we needed a good, clean game to finish it off. I think.
Can I ask about your mindset after game number 2? Because you guys kind of got stomped. What did you guys say or do to kind of like get back into it? Because that's a hard one to come back from. The Alterax pass.
So game number 2, we honestly feel like we outdrafted ourselves. We picked Falstad and then Medivh, and on Alterac Pass that doesn't really work as like your 2 backliners, just because it means that there's going to be lanes pushing, or Falstad has to split, and then Medivh's the solo damage, and he's not usually able to like actually create any pressure, right? Like he can disengage just fine, but he's not going to be able to create like the consistent team fight pressure that's necessary. So we felt like there's a little bit of a draft mismatch, and because of that, like we kept on getting demolished overall. But we did feel like overall, like we had the tools to be able to beat like the Varian, like I think it was Kiltos that game. But like they're engaged, we felt like we had the potential to beat it. We just outdrafted ourselves there, so we didn't take too much into it.
I still think we played that game much closer than we probably should have been able to. I think the end kills were like 6-6 or something. Like we lost the structures, but most of the fights were still pretty back and forth close. But yeah, I think our comp was just kind of the issue that game. But we kind of all agreed on that and just shrugged it off and were like, okay, well, let's just not do that again.
Yeah, they really leveraged their like macro advantages against you. First objective, they were able to get up to the keep wall. Between that first and second objective, they were able to do the same with the boss in the top lane, which is not a situation you want to be in. And then, of course, we're able to get the second objective as a follow-up to that, which pretty much took out all 3 of your keeps. And on Alterac, it's a really hard spot to be in.
Yeah, our composition didn't offer a whole lot in terms of anti-siege.
Yeah. It was evident, and they identified that effectively, and really kind of pressed hard on that fact against you guys, and I think that was more or less it is. But it is a lot easier to go say, well, draft issue here, clear the head, let's go into Tomb, somewhere where everyone's a little more comfortable. It's a little bit more straightforward in what you want to be playing on that map. And you guys were able to pick up some of those key picks that we like to see. Of course, the Sonya ban was quite amusing. And I felt like it punished that Ana really hard on Alterac Pass 2 as well.
Yeah, we kind of realized a couple other teams I've seen have banned like Stukov and Rhaegar and things like that and tried to get them off the double support thing. But we were kind of just like, we're kind of fine if they do that. We just don't want the Sonya killing all of us in the meantime.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like once we figured that out, that helped a lot.
Well, yeah, you guys
Right,
dealt with
I
that
gotta
double
run to
support.
a Tespa match, but I'm gonna thank you guys for casting before I go and give
Oh,
shout
of
out
course.
to my team.
We can wrap
and,
this up right away
Sky5.
anyways. I got
So,
stuff to do myself.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Go ahead and just start with the shout-outs, guys.
Yeah, give us some shout outs, final victory laps, and woos.
All right, no one else is talking. I'll go first. Shoutouts to, let's see. Shoutouts to Doom, who was our original offlaner, and then I guess shoutouts to Ghost Dunk as well for filling in. But like obviously both of them have been like such strong presences for RewinD, so like very thankful to both of them. Shout out to Sheej, the official memer, and just I don't know, in general, like what a guy, what an absolute legend. Shout outs to the rest of Div A, I think. Like it's been a great season, honestly, and I've been very happy to play in it, and I'm sure the rest of my team has as well. And then shout outs just to you guys. Thank you so much for casting it.
This is Ghost Dunk. So shout out to Doom again. It's some pretty strong shoes that I have to fill. And shout out to RewinD for bringing me on mid-season. I really appreciate it. And it's been an awesome team. So shout out to my teammates. Shout out to Sky5, they were difficult when I played them on my previous team, and they were difficult to play now. So, we didn't get a whole lot of solo lane shenanigans going on, but shout out to people that visited me in the solo lane. Shout out to my parents who are watching. I'm sure they enjoyed the stream. Shout out to if any Thrice Pie people are watching. Represent, and I think that's it. Thank you guys. And yeah, shout out to casters. Yeah, you guys are doing. I know how tough it is getting everything set up and getting the grand finals going. So you guys, I'm sure you did an awesome job, and I can't wait to watch the cast.
All right. So first of all, shout outs to my team because I was free agent. Nobody even offered me a team except for me and Chaotic, who were both like, well, nobody's offering us a team, so let's just make a team. And that worked out better than expected. So yeah, super fun group of guys to play with. Ghost Dunk, Siege, Doom, everybody. Fade, who's now gone. Yeah, shout outs to the casters. Thank you guys. Shout outs to Sky5. Super close games. Again, super fun playing them. They give us a good fight at the end there. I think this is a good match. Shout outs to John Knight, #1 cheerleader. Played with that guy in past teams and stuff. Supporting us the whole way. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, I want to
One
give
last
a shout out to our producer. Oh, sorry, one more
Oh, no.
person.
Yeah, we got one more, I think.
There's one more.
Sorry, who do you think? Who do you think you are?
I think I know who I am. Shout out to Northeastern University gaming enthusiasts, everybody who's listening. Thanks for supporting the team.
Short and sweet.
Anyways, I was gonna say shout out to DB Spinelli putting all of this together and being our producer and letting us just sit back. He's waving. I don't know if you can see him. He's waving there. And I just want to give a shout out to NGS because this group is amazing and I have so much fun being here. So good job, guys. And yeah. How do you, Zoltoy? Do you want to join the shout out train?
No, I'm
Shout
done
out
with you guys.
train?
No, yeah, it's all good. Thanks for everybody being in
He's
chat.
done.
Appreciate it. NGS is an awesome place to cast. This is my last cast of the season, so hopefully we'll be
Me
back in
too.
full force again next season. I'm super excited to see how that all rolls on, but I'm also looking forward to the break. Again, shout out to DB Spinelli for setting all this up. It's much better than my leggy ass terrible camera work. So it's always really good to be able to get the
Feels right.
observation help here in the finals and kind of put our best foot forward. You can catch me on Twitch as I'll be streaming a bunch in the off season as well. And of course, you can reach out to me here in Discord if you have anything to talk about. And that's it, I think, for the stream. Where can we find you, Sky?
Oh, yeah. So I do variety. Right now it's coming into Halloween, so I'm doing my horror-thon. I love horror games so much, so you can catch me at twitch.tv/skybunny. I'll be streaming. Right now I'm doing a detective weird Japanese game, but I also live in Japan, so you probably will only be able to catch my VODs if you live in America, unless you're up really early or up really late. So yeah, in fact, I'm actually going to go get breakfast here because I had to wake up at 6 a.m. in order to do this cast. So please give me a follow on Instagram. All that stuff is on my Twitch page and Twitter and all those things. And stop by and say hi. I'm a great singer doing Twitch sings. So yeah, Venus loves it. Also, I've gotten enough subscriptions for my Elsa cosplay. So Venus and I, at some point, are going to do a cast together. He's going to be a princess, and I'm going to be Elsa. So look forward to that.
Alrighty then, thank you everyone in Twitch chat and everyone else abroad for watching these shows and everyone that's going to be watching this as a VOD. Thank you so much, and we will catch you next time in the Nexus.
All right, bye.